Well, hello, and welcome back to another episode of ASMR Sexy Book Reading. I believe this is number 6. This little doo-wopper. Doo-wop-bop-bop-ba-da-bop-bow. Yes. I was correct in my thoughts. This is called the 10-year reunion. Have you ever done that? Did you go to high school? Did you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend in high school that you really loved? You're like, oh my God, my life will never go on without you. My life will never go on without you. And your life went on, didn't it? But if you're one of those types of people, I'm not that type of people that go to the pardon me, the 10-year reunion, the 20-year reunion, the 30, the 50. Hey, look at us. Didn't we do good? Isn't that what those are for? Hey, what did you end up at? Well, I'm a bag lady. I live in LA. I'm a bag lady. Oh, really? I've got 5 cars and 4 kids, and my life was great. Well, fucking good for you. That's what reunions are for. That's what I think they're for. I'm drinking a really heavy IPA this time around. It's a 9 point. It's very good. They're delicious. But I'm very chalk-mouthed. So I apologize for that. So I'm doing a short story tonight called The 10-Year Reunion. I have to talk about the last episode. Lick It Clean. YouTube basically gave me a, hey man, we got to put a age restriction on this one. And I was just like, I don't think that, I mean, it was, this, I guess a lot of people, it was dirty. It was very dirty. Lick It Clean. It was very dirty. But this, it's like, I decided what I'm going to do is I may change some words around. So if it says hot steaming load of cum, I might change that to, something a little more delightful to hear. The problem is I don't want to get struck down as you're a dirty bird. You're a dirty bugger. This is ASMR Sexy Book Reading. It's about my voice. It's about what I'm delivering to you, sonically. Not about what I'm, reading per se. And that last one, by the way, her name's Dirty Denise that wrote that one, Lick It Clean. It's all about stinky underpants and sticking armpits in your face. Very disgusting. How dare you, Dirty Diane? Dirty Diana. Was that a song by... That was a song by Michael Jackson. Come up with a better name than that. Anyways, Jesus, I'm getting off track. I've been drinking a little while. Sorry. But I did find this little story, and I really thought it's okay. Now, again, I didn't read it all the way through, but I know the new parameters that I've set up for myself. So I will not, be getting into the filthy, dirty jizz shooting across her face or whatever. I'll hone that in. Like Samuel Clemens, I'll fix things. So let's get into this. This is a very nice little story. It's a 10-year reunion, an erotic story. So we know that there's 2 characters that they wanted to fuck the whole time, or maybe they fucked, in school and they can't wait to fuck again. We'll find out. So let's get into this. And we begin. Shit. Okay, don't worry, just relax, Amy thought to herself in her parked car, her hands still on the wheel. Everyone's nervous at reunions. After a final glance at her reflection in the rearview mirror, she unbuckled her seatbelt and took a steady breath and stepped out into the evening air. She walked towards the school she graduated from 10 years earlier. It felt like half remembered dream. Everything felt kind of familiar, but alien too. She had no time to reminisce, though. She had decided to be late to give everyone else a chance to get tipsy and to skip the initial awkwardness, but she was already later than late. She walked pardon me. She walked into the reception area and followed the directions taped to the walls of the corridors to the heart of the building, the gymnasium, noting all the little changes as she passed them. She hadn't really known what to expect, so she had done her best to not over or underdress. She'd done well. She assessed, formerly informal, in a black pencil skirt and a black open-back halter top, stud earrings, a discreet silver necklace, hair long and straight. Black heels were her only concession. Well, she's looking pretty sweet from what I'm guessing. From what I gathered in that description in my mind's picture, you see. She stepped into the gym and through an archway that read, "Welcome class of '06. Jesus. All right. In glittery neon letters. The room was full of people and each face was vaguely familiar in one way or another. She stood under the gaudy arch and everything recalled long-forgotten anecdotes and stories and relationships. The vast majority of these people she hadn't had any contact with for a decade, and suddenly she felt like she had never been away. So she's starting to feel good about it. It's like she's back in school. Just as it was feeling a little overwhelming, a voice made its way over to her through the hum of conversation and the background of deliberately ironic music from 2006, right? Right now, it was Bossy by Kellis. I've got no idea what that is. Bossy by Kellis. Amy, called the voice. Amy turned to see Sarah, her old study partner and organizer of the event, scurrying toward her across the half-filled hall with 2 glasses of champagne, one outstretched towards Amy. "It's been so long. How are you?" Co-ed Sarah, already a little flush from the drinks. "Sarah," replied Amy. She was accepting the glass and hugged awkwardly. I'm good. Pretty weird to be back here, right?" she said, looking around the room. "Where have you been, girl? We haven't heard much from you over the years." "Well, traveling for a few years, took a job abroad, just moved back a year ago for a career shift. You know, normal stuff, really. I'm getting into real estate," Amy replied, suddenly realizing how hard it is to summarize 10 years of life in a single sentence to a relative stranger. "Traveling? Wow, awesome. That sounds so exciting. You're looking great, too," said Sarah, sincerely. With a little surprise, Amy noticed it was genuinely flattered. What the fuck? Sorry. I'm really trying to do these stories good for you guys, so bear with me if I have little flubs and fuck-ups. Amy was perfectly happy in high school. She had been good, studious, friendly, well-adjusted, but not particularly interested in guys or looks, her own or anyone else's, apart from one. Sam. The guy she'd lost her virginity to. 10 what? It's been 10 years. The guy she'd lost her virginity to is Sam. 10, huh? Weird, guys? 10 years earlier. The memory had been triggered by Sarah's compliment. Sam had pursued her for weeks gently. Amy knew he liked her, didn't really know why, and didn't really like him back. It wasn't personal. She didn't really like anyone that much. Not in that way. You know, that way. Have we all heard that? I don't like you in that way. What she eventually came to learn was that Sam didn't either. He was noticeably good looking, and he was the kind of guy wouldn't have noticed good looks either. Amy and Sam had a shared interest in disinterest. All right, that's weird. That was all there was to it. Eventually, just out of sheer persistence, Sam won her over, and they started hanging out. It was late in school year, close to graduation. They both suspected they would never see each other again, and they were okay with that. But they should at least have sex, shouldn't they? They got on. Neither of them had done it before, and this could be their last chance. Also, they were graduating, and so they decided to make sexy with each other. That's fantastic if you find the right person to do that with, you know. Your first time, it's either, wow, that was not like they do in the porno movies, or it's like, wow, that's pretty good. And they did. And it was awkward and fumbly and fun and fast as anyone might expect. And they never saw each other again. Sam went off to college. Amy went off traveling. Traveling the world abroad. Having a wonderful fucking go of things. Amy with her life. Amy had come a long way since high school. She had been a good student, but always part of the background. Few people at the reunion were in a rush to speak to her. But now, looking around, she realized that all the traveling she'd done, all the success she'd achieved, all the sun she'd seen, all the clean air she'd breathed and fresh food she'd eaten, she'd become hotter than all of them. Of course it is. It's always the person that's telling the story, right? I'm better than everybody at the fucking party. I was the greatest there. Her moment of unexpected pride was immediately punctured, see, thank you, by another voice behind her. Amy? It asked. Amy turned to face the voice. Oh my God. It was Sam. Of course it was. Holy shit. What are the chances you'd be the first person I bump into? Sam asked, through a broad smile. I bet Sam ain't looking too fucking shabby. I bet he's seen a bit of the world. Sam, I was literally just thinking about you, she replied, more honestly than she'd meant to. They looked at each other for several long seconds, studied each other's features, relearning each other for a moment, like puppies reuniting as dogs. Jesus Christ. I'll catch up with you guys later, said Sarah, politely, aware of the moment happening in front of her, and she backed away into the crowd around the makeshift bar for more champagne. Sarah's probably a plump girl that's like, she's got a steady boyfriend. She's like, oh yeah, you guys are, you're fucking into it. All right. Oh, that's sweet, said Sam. I still think about you sometimes, too. Crazy how fast people just lose touch after high school, huh? I just think that's the way I want it, to be honest. I don't know. I was young. I just wanted to sever the ties with teenage me as soon as possible and get on with things. I don't really know why. It's really good to see you, though. How are you? How's life? Asked Amy. Jesus Christ, you got a mouthful, Amy. You spit that out. The guy just said, hey, it's kind of weird, fucking, huh? Suddenly aware that she might have accidentally offended Sam, right? By telling him that. Well, you did. Because I was offended by you saying that. You're just a mouthful. He's like, hey, whoa, that's weird. How did I run into you? Oh, my life, this, that, blah, 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 blah. Me, and my life. Sorry, guys. What's up? Suddenly aware that she might have accidentally offended Sam by telling him how much she wanted to cut ties with everything and, by extension, him. I'm good, and I get what you mean, Sam replied. To her relief, I feel a bit uncomfortable being back here, too. I'm so late because I couldn't even decide whether or not I should come, you know? Now I'm here, it's not quite real. It's like, I don't know, experiencing something else, memories or something. Deep, man, nudged Amy. Oh, Jesus. I'm starting to fucking hate Amy. I'm sure she's hot, but I'm starting to fucking hate her. Sam bowed his head and smiled a little in self-deprecation embarrassment. The song was now Justin Timberlake's Sexy Back. Was this song really 10 years ago? I feel so old all of a sudden. I've never heard of that fucking song, Sexy Back, in my life. Jesus Christ. All right, I'm going to read that last. Was this song really 10 years ago? I feel so old all of a sudden, said Sam, changing the subject deftly. You don't look it. You're looking good. You really grew up, huh? Said Amy. That's what women tell you to. Just grow up. Why don't you grow up? Why don't you grow up already? And he had. After college, he'd become a photographer, seen a lot of the world. Well, there you go. Just as Amy had. He was tanned, slim, and much more muscular than he'd been the last time they met. 10 years ago, he looked a little awkward in his own body. Now, he'd clearly grown into it. And with a little stubble and the beginnings of some sophisticated wrinkles around his eyes, he looked a little rugged. Ah, he said modestly. Thanks. It's more luck than judgment, believe me. I usually look like I slept in a barn. This evening I wore a shirt. That's the extent of my commitment tonight. This shirt. That's too much commitment, said Amy with a mocking seriousness. You should take it off. It's a school reunion, he replied. No one here needs to be reunited with my nipples. No, said Amy. The nipple reunion's next week. Oh, yeah, I'm not fucking liking her. I'm not liking Amy. Amy better get sexy pretty quick or Jesus Christ. I'll definitely be coming to that one then, said Sam. Might even arrive early. Awkward social events are always less awkward topless, but only as long as everyone's topless. There's like a complicated inverse relationship between social anxiety and nipple quantity. If there are like 50 people and only 2 nipples, it's extra awkward for everyone. But if there are 50 people and 100 nipples, that's a party. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. Oh, here we go with Amy. Here we go. put your college education to use there, I see. Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't like her. Sam, I honestly don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's what Sam says. He's making a fucking joke. He's talking about nipples at a party. Am I getting this wrong? All right. Amy says, me neither, but it's probably the most interesting conversation I'll have tonight. Should we just, take off and go catch up? There aren't many people I wanted to see anyways. Of course you don't want to see people, because you're the best of them. You were the best of after 10 years, you're like, oh, I met the one lady with champagne, Sarah. All right. I'm sorry. I'm just not liking Amy very much. I hope Sam gives it to her. I don't even know what the fuck that means. I hope Sam gives it to her. Not like in a rapey way, but just like in a forceful, anyways. Sam pretended to think, well, I was hoping to bump into someone who became a lawyer. It's always good to have a lawyer friend, but yeah, let's go. Somehow, they both knew what was going to happen next. All right, this is finally, guys, how we 15 minutes into this bullshit. Here we go. Somehow, they both knew what was going to happen next. Some kind of unconscious agreement. They had picked up exactly where they had left off 10 years ago, with that same sort of slow-burning chemistry that had defined their relationship. But there was something different this time. They shared a little more maturity, a little more experience, and a lot more confidence. This time, the chemistry wasn't burning so slowly. And they were both aware of it. They continued to joke and flirt as they ambled through the corridors back towards the parking lot. When something caught Amy's eye, she pulled Sam over to the door of the classroom and looked through the glass. Do you remember this room? She asked. Oh boy, what happened in that room? What happened in there? You pulled out your Bunsen burner. All right, that's not the... Sam thought for a minute. He moved in behind her and pressed his weight against her so he could... There's a lot of pressing their weight against in these stories, I've noticed. Sam thought for a minute. He moved in behind her and pressed his weight against her so he could see through the window too. Though, through it, they could see piles of desks stacked on top of each other and casting strange shadows around the classroom, clearly no longer used, but where they had once shared a class as seniors. Sure, he said, collecting his memories. This is the room where you finally agreed to go out with me. Amy turned in front of him, her back now pressed against the door, their faces close. She slid her hand down to the door handle and pushed. The door clicked open, and a shard of light from the corridor piercing the darkness of the classroom. She slid a finger under the waistband of his pants and stepped backwards, pulling him inside. The door closed behind them, and she pushed him against it, her body weight now on his, and kissed him. Oh shit, it's starting to get dirty. So I thought this was going to end up like in a car, or let's get out of this place, but Sam kissed back. He'd changed. Wait, did I miss a little Amy turned in front of him. The door closed behind them, and she pushed him against it, her body weight now on his, and kissed him. Sam kissed back. He'd changed. She could tell from his kiss. Sam felt Amy smile against his lips. Amy felt Sam against her thigh. Right? She let out a little of surprise, satisfaction, and Sam broke away from the kiss. Are you judging me? Asked Sam jokingly. Maybe. said Amy. And maybe you're already doing a whole lot better than last time. Fucking Amy, you're a bitch. Let's see what else I can do, Sam said, and he held her hips and moved his kisses down her and over her left shoulder. All right, let's get into the fucking meat and potatoes of this thing. He pushed her back toward the center of the room without taking his lips off her until the backs of her thighs found the resistance of the large wooden teacher's desk. Still without breaking his kiss, Sam moved his hands down her legs and began to slowly lift Amy's skirt, edging it higher and higher, giving her all the opportunity she wanted him to stop. Like the old days. Stop it. I'm on my period. Or whatever, scared teenagers. She didn't want him to stop, so the skirt crept up and up until she was stood leaning back against the desk with her feet apart, naked from the waist down, apart from her black heels and black lace panties. Oh, it's always black lace panties. I love them black lace panties. Don't you love those when you see them or you hear about them? It's like, good gravy. See, Sam's a man after my own heart because what does he say right here? He says, Sam stood back to regard her. That means he's looking. He's just taking it in going, damn. Damn it, damn. And what does he say? Right here. You look so damn good, he breathed, as if he couldn't have stopped the words if he'd wanted to. Right. You're like, damn, you look so good, baby. Baby, you look so fine. He knelt, taking her ankle in one hand and the back of a thigh in the other. He ran a tongue up the inside of her thigh and nestled his face into her panties. She watched him from above. Yeah, she's looking down. Her heart rate increased. She put her slender fingers on the back of his head and pulled his face into her. Lifting her hips a little, he licked her through her panties. His eyes closed and his breath deep and warm on her skin. Right. This is all foreplay. This is breath on the panties. Like, do you know where I'm going next, baby? This is actually a solid story. As she began to moan, Sam began working her panties down with his tongue. Good job, Sam. Amy watched him making slow progress, not willing to help, wanting him to work for it. Slowly and with difficulty, he worked them off her hips and slid them down her legs. She pulled one foot out and left them hanging on the other ankle. Fuck me. Fark me. Remember, we're fixing this up. There ain't going to be no filtering on this one. All that goddamn 18 plus. Fark me, she whispered down to him as he moved to lie back on the desk. No. No, came Sam's reply. What? What, is he married? He said no. Hold on a minute, guys. Jesus Christ. Still on his knees, he pushed her back. She was lying on the desk, her knees in the air and apart, her fingers still woven in his hair. Sam bit her inner thigh, her pussy dampening his cheeks and causing her entire body to tense in rebellion. He turned his head to face her, and he began to tenderly lick her, firmly and slowly. No means no. No means yes. But Amy was in no mood for tenderness. She wanted him to spoil her. She pulled his face hard against her pussy and began to grind against him. Sam, still with his eyes closed, offered his tongue to her, and she fucked it. She farked it. Sam's stifled moans of pleasure told Amy just how good she tasted. They were frenzied. They had no inhibitions, and Amy was made wetter by the sound of Sam's mouth on her. Right? ASMR? That licking sound. Oh, that's fucking hot. If I was an old carnival barker or something, someone less than an artist, I might, do something to myself here, but I'm not going to do that. Because that's disgusting. I'm here for you guys. She could speak only in obscenities. Farking suck it. Oh, fark. You make me want to come. You make me come. Amy seethed through the clenched teeth. She noticed that Sam's whole body was shaking. That's what you do when you're frenzied up. You want that. She couldn't see, but she knew he had undone his pants and was taking his cock fast. His penis. Let's say that his undone. His pants was stroking his cock fast. So aroused was he by Amy masturbating with his face. Jesus, this is a pretty solid story. I don't know how long this sucker is. How long are we into this so far? Let's take a peek. 32 minutes. Jesus H. All right. Well, this ain't too bad. I feel like we're getting to the end of it. With one hand, she directed Sam's tongue deeper inside herself. The vibrations of his moans transmitted perfectly into her pussy. She moved the other hand to her clit and began stroking it in rhythm with her use of Sam's tongue. It's like a good Janet Jackson song. Her short little gasp began to blend into a single long one as she recognized the beginning of an orgasm rush through her body. Oh shit. Farkety fark, 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 fark. Sam, I'm going to come, she said. Her eyes clamped closed and her head arched forward, every muscle in her body telling her to climax. Do it. Come on my face, growled Sam into Amy's party. Private parts. Very hot. The frankness of the statement pushed her over the edge. Her moans became a squeal as she stroked her clit faster and faster and farked herself, while with Sam's tongue deeper and deeper. She was close, so close, and then her body froze for what felt like an eternity before releasing a crashing series of tremors, her mouth producing a new involuntary noise with each one. Her whole body was racked with pleasure, starting in her hair, surging down her body and into her pussy, and straight onto Sam's handsome, painting face. Her hand loosened from his hair and dropped to her pussy. Sam sat back on his heels, a smile on his wet face, and the mess he'd made covering his hands and pants. Her orgasm had activated his. Together, they caught their breath in the darkness. Amy was the first to speak. Shit! I did not expect tonight to go this way. I did, Sam said, grinning. Well, I hoped I wanted to apologize for being so shitty at it the first time. Oh, Sam, that's sweet, said Amy. You weren't that bad. But you should definitely apologize more. Well, that's it, guys. It was just that's the 10-year reunion. So Sam just wanted to give her some oral relief after that time that it was, too fast for love, whatever. But that wasn't a bad story. I'm gonna go ahead and give that a 3 out of 5. It's better than Lick It Clean, right? I think that's pretty. I think that's a pretty solid little go at it. All right, guys. Well, that's it. ASMR Sexy Book Reading number 6, the 10-year reunion. Amy and Sam, they get together and they have a damn good go at things. What did you think? Like, comment, subscribe, be my friend. Check out some of my other videos. I do some singing, I do some dancing, I do some vlogging, critiquing, whatever works for you. Do whatever works for you. You do you. Someone told me that. Hey, you do you. So you do that. I'll do me. I'm going to do me right now. I'm kind of horny now. But that's all I've got, guys. I will talk to you again soon. Coming in for a big, juicy kiss. Kissing your Parsi. Bye.